time to talk about your money this morning. Not so much on how much you're spending on this holiday season, but rather how you want to grow it in 2024. Kevin Fuerst has Fuerst Financial here in town, and his motto I have learned quite well: you have to watch a thing to change a thing, right?
That's right.
Did I say it the right way?
That's totally right.
It's a wonderful little life motto that applies to everything, but certainly with your money. So
Absolutely.
'tis the season to make those New Year's resolutions of I'm going to make my money work for me. So
Better.
start watching it.
Yeah. So you have to watch. You do have to watch your money. You have to watch your budget. You have to watch your health.
Right.
You know, what good does it do to have a lot of wealth and your health is horrible?
Sure.
I learned
Sure.
it from a lesson at a guy that had diabetes. He was in a wheelchair and had no legs because of the diabetes they had to amputate. And I thought, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
You know, watch your wealth, watch your health. And so if you watch them, you're going to change things to make your life better.
I was joking with a friend the other day, though. We were both talking about how we want to do this to kind of take care of ourselves better and this to take care of ourselves better. And we jokingly said, pretty much it's a full-time job just to take care of yourself. So people don't have that ability. They don't have that kind of time. If you will just do the foundational legwork initially, then you can kind of sit back a bit.
Correct.
So with you, that's where you come into play with the estate planning and helping people grow their money.
Yeah.
Understand it is
Yeah.
starting point.
Yeah, we give them a path to go down. So with whether it's wealth management, whether it's estate planning, we have a set appointment schedule on how that process works, either a 4 or 5 step to walk them through the process. You can't do it all at one time. It gets overwhelming.
Right.
And so it's just a little bit at a time. I mean, we don't go broke overnight, so we don't get wealthy overnight either. It's a
Right.
you have to look at the long play and what it is you're wanting to do.
Yeah.
So.
So you were telling me that, and it does not come as a surprise to you, this probably happens every year at some point. Things were doing pretty well.
Yeah.
The first half
Yeah.
of the year, and then we took a bit of a dip and people panic.
Yeah, so through July, we had a really good market, very positive. And then, so August, September, October, the worst 3-month period since COVID. And people started looking at their statements in September, and it's like, oh my gosh, we've lost all this money. What happened? Well, we had 3 really bad months.
Right.
But then staying with your risk and staying with your risk number, if you stayed with it and pushed through it, now the last couple of months, November, December, we've really almost went back to the July levels. And so if you would have made moves in there because you panicked,
Right. You would have lost.
Then you actually, you realized your loss because you either sold or went to cash or whatever it might be.
Right. So like in your situation, when people come to you, they generally have a pretty significant amount of money they're giving to you. Are they still investing in the market in terms of purchasing?
Yes.
Okay.
So they don't give it to me, but we hold it. And we
You know what I mean.
Yes, I do. I'm just making it clear. But we definitely custody the assets on our platform, and then we manage the money based on their risk. If people, and we stress it all the time, if they can get that risk number right, risk is stock to bond ratio, and so how much stock versus how much bond or fixed assets. If they get that right, they will never have sleepless nights. It's when they get that wrong that they start to worry, or the market drops too much and you feel like, oh, I didn't want to lose that much money. How come I lost that much? That means probably you didn't spend enough time thinking through the risk process.
Do you like it when people come to you, though, for them to ask you questions? Because if they don't understand it, isn't it more difficult for you to really get a sense of what it is that they're wanting?
Oh yeah, and it's part of what we do up front, and that's why we have a 4-step process and a 5-step process depending on what avenue they're going down, because they have to get things right. If they get it wrong, then it really becomes too hard to manage, even for them, because they're constantly trying to guess the market, or they listen to somebody else that said I made 20% on this thing or 20% on that thing, and they might have, but what was the risk that they took to get there? And if you're comfortable with it, do it.
Okay.
But you just have to understand that and who you are, and then the means that you have. There's so many things that go into an overall plan.
Right.
It's not just one thing. And so
I was talking with somebody recently, a friend, and she had I think her mother-in-law died, and so there was some inheritance that came along with this, and she was talking though about the taxes that you get kind of walloped with when you're inheriting. Then I think it was more of a real estate thing. I've kind of forgotten the details now. Point being, if you put your money in a Roth IRA as opposed to a conventional, is that the better way to go when it comes to withdrawing it?
Boy, so it always depends.
Okay.
It depends on, because you have to look at everything else. There's not one silver bullet. You have to look at everything. And when you talk to your advisor or whoever is leading you or coaching you, they'll help you walk through that. So sometimes a Roth is the best thing. Other times it's not. But there's also the deduction you get for putting it into an IRA. So that's another important thing that you want too for the future. But a Roth IRA is certainly something I think that people should look at.
You do a lot of estate planning at Fuerst. Do you feel like most people would benefit from having a trust as they get older, or is it necessary?
So now you're talking to the wrong person, because
Okay.
I believe in the trust so much for most people. And some of it is money, depending on the money that you have. Other is your circumstances, blended families, special needs. If you have a special needs child, you really need something in place to help that child throughout his or her life. And so I like the trust because it does what you think the will was supposed to do. And so that's what I like about the trust. Now that's just my own opinion, but I've seen it play out time and time and time
Are
again.
they difficult to set up?
I don't think so, but you do it a little bit at a time. Again, there's that 4 or 5 step process that we go through and help you walk through it a little bit at a time. So no, I don't think so. There are things that you have to do that are different than a will, but at the end, if you're trying to take care of your your heirs, your beneficiaries, it is the smoothest, easiest transition from one generation to the next that I found.
If people are wanting to come and meet with you, Kevin, does your schedule get pretty crazy in January?
You know what? No.
Okay.
No.
Good.
And we only take, so we're kind of at the point, we only take on so many people at
Right.
a time, so we
Right.
kind of know our ebb and flow. And I've been there before where you're trying to take everybody, trying to be everything, and you can't do it. So
Right.
we're really careful about the people we take on, who we work with, because they have to have the wherewithal to get through those four steps. And that really eliminates some people, and they realize it's not for them.
And
so.
just like he wants you to watch a thing to change a thing, he's got to be watching the thing too
That's right.
to change that thing.
That's right.
So it's Kevin Fuerst at Fuerst Financial. He really does a great job though of just talking and kind of guiding you through. Are you having any more of your sessions coming up?
You know what? We're referral only now. We
Okay.
used to do workshops. Now we still do them on occasion, but it's more for education for our current clients than for the general public. But we do referrals, and of course, anybody that would call in from the radio show, we've helped some of those people too.
All right, well here is that phone number,
Or
899.
TV, I
knew
should
what
say.
you meant. I know where I work. 899-8555, and the website, I love it, is growkeepleave.com. Thanks.
Thanks, Julie.